Welcome back to the Hexagon Challenge. In today's episode, we have our first two games in the new African Champions League group, and we've got a lot to cover before we get into it. So, since you last left us, we did win, of course, in our qualifiers. We won 4-0. I said we'll probably just play the second game off camera. If there was any problems, we'd come back. Wasn't any problems because we won 6-0 in the away leg, so it was all good. We've won every league and cup game since then, so we're absolutely flying. Dynamics are brilliant, even though there's a couple of players, or Sergey's unhappy twice. Everything else is going quite well. The deal for Jan Valery is already agreed. He's going to join Lask Linsk for 1.6 million, which should hopefully clear our debt, but that's actually not going to happen until January. So he's been kicking around, mostly just making appearances off the bench when we've needed him. Koulibaly's back from his injury. He's wanted by Al Sadd. Angua's wanted by Shanghai Port, and I think Slimani's also wanted by Shanghai Port. So got a little bit of work to do probably in January to try and keep our players, keep them happy. In terms of our Champions League group, this is who we've got. We've got Al Hilal Omdurman, a team from Sudan. We've got Dijoliba from Mali, and Pyramids, brilliant name for an Egyptian club. I love that badge. Pyramids, who are probably the second best team in Africa, maybe the best team in Africa. They did win the Champions League last year, so I feel like for some reason we keep getting a tough group with one of the better teams from Egypt. Al Ahly are in a different group. They're also with Belouizdad as well. Wydad Casablanca, I mean, that's a tough group. So I think our group is probably a little bit easier this year. Al Hilal, a 2.5-star side, obviously not the same one from Saudi, and Dijoliba are a 2-star team. So we should be getting through this group, but we said that last year and it didn't happen. Pyramids, I think, are a decent club, a 3-star team, so not really too different to us, but I imagine they've got some better players than us. If we just take a look at their, maybe not too different, but they're a good side, and obviously they're a good side because they won the league, the Champions League last year. But we're going to play Al Hilal and Dijoliba today. We'll, of course, play the next two games off camera, and then we'll come back for the last two games of the group. So similar to what we did last season. So this is the team we're going with for our first game. And we need to make it count because last time we got off to a slow start and we never really recovered. So we've got Mamish in goal, back four of Cuervo, Mabea, Rajabu and Koulibaly, Toure and Jabali in midfield, Knežević and Hamidi on the wings, and Sergey and Angua up top. As you can see, we are scoring plenty goals. Trabelsi's got 10, Angua's already got 16. Sergey's had like a leave of absence. He was not settling in the area, so we let him go back to Russia for a month. But when he has played, he's been unreal. 3 goals, 3 assists in 4 in the league. 13 from Knežević. Really wasn't expecting him to hit the ground running. He's been very, very good. 4 goals, 4 assists in 8 league games. Hamidi's been decent, probably the weakest of the front four. Jabali scoring, even Stefan Toure's scoring some goals, which is mad. And then a couple of the defenders and some of the sub players chipping in as well. As you can see, potential wise, a lot of the boys are actually starting to realize it. Koulibaly's still got potential to grow. Rajabu's still got potential to grow. Mabea's still got potential to grow. Stefan Turan, he didn't have potential. Now he does. Got a lot of potential to improve. Knežević still 5-star potential. Sergey is 4-star current ability now. Angua's got potential. So it's looking pretty good. I think the squad's good. I think that they're only going to get better as well as the season goes on. So I think we're a much stronger squad than we were last year. So I'm hoping this year we can get out the groups, because realistically, we should have got out the groups. We should have got out the groups. We're playing the second best team, or the third best team in the group, if you consider probably Pyramids top, us probably second best. These are probably third in terms of, star ratings and what have you. Actually, let me adjust this because I'm doing only commentary for the games in between now, because we've just been playing too many league games that we're just winning every game, so it's not really fun. So I've just been doing only commentary, but we'll put, of course, the highlights on. That is a little bit slow. We need to notch that up one rung. And I thought we'd taken an early lead. Angua hit the post. He has been the main man. He is wanted by Shanghai Port, so we'll probably have to do a little bit of work to try and keep him in January. Hopefully they don't come in with a bid. I need to check these players. None of them have release clauses. I'm pretty sure Sergey has a release clause, but he's only joined and he doesn't have any interest in him. I'm not sure on Angua. I think he's the main one we need to check. Him and Koulibaly probably, as they're the two that are wanted. But yeah, we just need to check and make sure that there is nothing too dodgy going on in their contracts. We have gone 1 goal up. I'm not sure if it's going to stand, though, because it looked a little bit offside to me. VAR is checking it, but VAR says it's fine. So we've gone 1 goal up. Knežević with the assist and Gua with the goal. And that does put us into first. Obviously, we need to finish in the top 2 out of 4 in the league. And weirdly enough, Dijon Liebe are actually beating Pyramids as it stands. You wouldn't expect that because they're probably the worst team in the group. So if they can get a result against Pyramids, that really helps us because Pyramids are probably going to be our toughest opponent in the group. What we don't need to do, though, is start thinking about permutations because we are on game 1 of 6 in the group. So we need to really just focus on winning today like we did last year. This feels to me like the opening game we had last year where we absolutely dominated, but then the other team got 1 chance and equalised. So we really need to get 2 or 3 goals today just to make sure that nothing daft like that happens again. Thankfully now we have the experience of playing in the groups. Obviously this group of players specifically. Obviously there's some new boys in this team. Oh, wow. Rajabu. I mean, how far out was that? That was about 40, 50 yards. I'm surprised the keeper's let it in, to be honest. Considering he must have saved 7 other shots on target. The fact that that's gone in is crazy. I mean, that's the second goal we needed. So we are looking much better than we did last year. So I am happy. We will make a couple subs because some players are a little bit in the... What am I trying to say? They're on yellow cards. So I'll bring Trabelsi on the left. We'll leave it there. We don't need to take everyone off who's on yellow. We should be okay. Cuervo, the Colombian, swings it in, or throws it into Knežević. He then swings the ball in, but it was a very low and powerful cross, but nothing came of it. And then Trabelsi, lovely ball in the middle to Angua, finds the space, does Angua, and he makes it 3-0. And that's exactly what we want to see. We want to see lots and lots of goals and not any slip-up. So we're looking much better. We only won 1 game in our group out of 6 last year. I think was it 1 win, 1 loss, and 4 draws. So we really need to improve on that record. Thankfully, we're off to a much better start because we drew our opening game, whereas now we look like we're about to win our opening game, which is great. Knežević on the corner tries to find a man in the middle, but their goalkeeper comes out and calmly collects it. Nothing else happens from the highlight. It's still 3-0. And I think now would be a good time to make some more subs. We're going to bring Ali Yahya on. We'll bring Slimani on in midfield as well. Jabali looking a little bit tired. And outside of that, we will leave it there. So thankfully, because we've been winning games so comfortably, we've been able to bring a lot of players in and out. A lot of people making, substitute appearances and stuff, playing good 45 minutes and things like that. So pretty much the whole squad's fit. The only people who aren't fit are really the people outside the squad. So Valerie and Azzy. So nearly everyone's fit. So if we have to rely on anyone, we're in a very good position to do so. We're going to chuck Trabelsi up top. We'll bring Yahya onto the left. We'll bring Kais Amara onto the right. And then we will bring Flores on at right back as well. I say that Kachish and Flores are really not fully fit. So I don't know what's happened. They were fully fit. Fully fit not that long ago, but now they seemingly have not been. We have had a bit of a gap between games, so that could be it. Pyramids are now winning their game, which is the expected result. But we're going to be top of the league because of goal difference, because we obviously haven't played Pyramids yet, or top of our group, should I say. So we've done much better today. Trabelsi makes it 4. Kais Amara with the assist, one of our youngsters from the academy. We do have another a striker in the academy as well, who's got 5-star potential. He's only got 2-star of current ability though, so I'm kind of waiting for him to get at least up to 2.5 before we bring him up. But there is potentially another academy star. There's a decent academy here, and I think it's worth using if we can. There's a cat in the background. Lovely stuff. Assistant manager also agrees. Lots of good stuff in the academy. And one thing we did miss out on last year was more prize money. You get 100k for a win. So if you win 6, I mean, that's a good bit of money. So we've won our first game. That's good stuff. We now play the other team who lost, Dijon Liebe, in the second game. So for our second game of the episode, we are playing Dujoliba, the team from Mali. They, of course, lost their first game, but they did give Pyramids a good run for their money. And like I say, I think Pyramids are probably a little bit better than us, so it's definitely not one we're going to take lightly. We're going with the team that played the last game. As you can see, the gap between games is starting to take a little bit of an effect on fitness. Sometimes we'll throw a friendly in just to keep fitness up, but other times I just kind of let it ride, and we just regain fitness as we play more games. It doesn't really matter. We are probably in a good position to try and make it two wins from two. Hamidi with a great chance to get us an early lead, because like I say, these are probably the worst rated team out of the four that's in the group, so you would expect us to win, but it wasn't so easy for Pyramids. But we've taken an early lead. Barakat Hamidi, I mean, he missed a pretty good chance, and then he goes and scores an absolute worldie. What is it with this year? This year's Champions League, we are just scoring worldies. Brilliant stuff from Hamidi, makes it 1-0. And this is what I expected the Champions League group to be more like when we were in it last year. That wasn't the case. We really struggled. This year, now that we've got the experience, it seems like we're doing better. Maybe we've just got a better side. I think we probably do have a better team than we did last year, which, you know, is what you'd want from your transfer specials, to end up with a better team than you did last year. It doesn't always work like that, but I think we have done that. I think we've got a younger team, which I think lends itself well to the pressing style that we play. And I think we've got probably some better attackers. I think the winger is better. Lara was fine, but I think Knezovic has proven himself to be a better player so far. I think Sergey has had, you know, a big impact as well. I think Touré's had a big impact in the middle, and I think the defenders as well. I think going from Kashish and Belaid to two younger lads who are a bit more mobile, a bit better in the air. Yeah, I think it's been a big improvement. And I think, you know, we kind of always suspected that Koulibaly was a good player, probably just needed some better players around him. I think we've got a better right back as well in Cuervo. So I think now Mamish as well, he's some question marks over some of his ratings in these games. But I think once we got some better players around him, put him under a little bit less stress, I think he's proven himself to be quite the good goalkeeper. So I think realistically, we're probably a really good centre mid and maybe a really top quality, what's the word? A really good quality right back. I think centre mid and right back are probably the only positions where, if we could get a proper superstar in, someone that would actually improve us, I think that's realistically our next point, because like I say, Cuervo's good, and again, the centre backs, you could argue the strikers don't look as good, but if you actually click on them, you'll see that they are good. They're just not totally suited to the roles they're playing in, but they're so good it doesn't really matter. In the end, I think Sergey was more than worth the money. There was a second goal, I kind of actually didn't even notice it. So we are 2-0 up. We probably should make some changes. We're going to bring Touré off just because he's on a yellow. Don't really like taking centre-backs off, to be honest, especially when the replacements aren't fit. If there's one sort of football manager myth I have, it's that if I substitute a centre-back, I always seem to concede. And so even if they're really tired, I tend to try and keep them on. But full-backs, I don't mind changing. It's mostly just centre-backs I have this myth for. Sergey plays it into Knezovic, who is really unfortunate not to get it in the back of the net, but Angua is just such a goal machine. He's like the Victor Gyökeres of our team. I think he's just every day, every time you look at the Sahel result, or every time you look at the Sporting result, you're just going to see that name, because he just scores so often. And like I say, if we do manage to do it this year and win the Champions League in Africa, I think when we do move to Asia, he's got to be, he's number one priority wherever we go. And speaking of the next continent, like I do say, I think it would be Asia. I think that would be the next sensible place to go. I think Asia and Africa probably pretty level in terms of, you know, level of clubs and stuff. I would say maybe Asia is just a slight rung above, which is why we've done Africa first. But in terms of loading league, so obviously as we were starting off the save, we were lower reputation. We were kind of loading every single league, whether that was in Oceania or Africa. Now that we're a bit better, I think we can be a little bit more specific with the teams we load. I think with the countries we load, and the teams that we try and apply for. So I think Japan, South Korea, Saudi. Don't know if there's any others in Asia. Obviously, I'll take a look through the list, see if anything else takes my eye. But I think Japan, South Korea, and Saudi would be the top three that are actually likely to win the Champions League. Obviously, there's Thailand and what have you, China maybe, but I just don't see them really going far in the Champions League. So I think we can be a little bit more specific. We might load a couple extras just for the sake of it. But I think we don't want to, because I think what happened last time is I loaded all of the African leagues and there was about 70 of them on a custom database, and it slowed the game right down. Getting through that first season was terrible. Thankfully, we've removed pretty much all of them now, which has sped the game up significantly. I think the only ones left in are Egypt, obviously Tunisia, Morocco, I think are still in, and South Africa. So I think it was just the main ones I wanted to keep. We are 4-1 up here, so we are doing much better than we did last year in the Champions League, which is good. We've already won more games. Well, if we do win this one, which it's looking like we will, we'll have already won more games in 2 games than we did in the 6 games last year. So those draws not happening this time. It looks like it's going to be probably us and Pyramids to go through, which is great. And it does mean we are probably a better team than we were last year. I think we did have a tougher group last year. I think these obviously 2 teams aren't as good as the teams we faced last year, so it could have just been an unluckily difficult group last year. We are 5-1 up. I'm surprised these give Pyramid such a good game because they have been a total walkover. We're going to bring some subs on players who need fitness. Kashish can come on, Flores can come on, Amara can come on, and Yahya can come on as well. We'll make the full 5 with 20 minutes to go. There was part of me thinking maybe it was time to switch away from the 4-2-4 when we weren't getting the results we wanted, but then I had a look and reminded myself how many games we've actually lost over the course of the save, and I don't think it's in double digits yet. I think we're still at 9. So 9 losses, you can't say that the formation's the problem. It was just a tough group and we just drew too many games. And I just think it was odd results because we should have won probably the at least three of the ones that we drew. I mean, the Al Ahly result, yeah. I mean, that's a kind of team you could face in the final, isn't it? So it is what it is. I do believe it's 2 legs all the way up to the final and including the final. I think the final's 2 legs as well, which I don't like. I think that's crazy. There's no way a final should be 2 legs, but there you go. That's just the way it is in the African Champions League. I don't know if Asia's the same. Obviously, Europe is just the Champions League final. I don't know about anything else. I don't know about South Africa or North America. So I think in terms of where we would go next, we'll go Asia. Then I think we'd probably go North America, then South America, and then finish off in Europe. By that point, we should be just looking to walk into one of the big boys and win the Champions League. But we still need to win the African Champions League. This is priority number 1. It is obviously our current mission and goal. And we have just taken a very good step towards that. A 2-0 win over Djaliba puts us top of the league still, level on points with Pyramids, but an extra 2 goals of goal difference that put us top of the league, which is great. So we will play Pyramids as our next game. Obviously, we do that off camera. We'll also play Djaliba off camera as well. So next time you come back, we will play our last 2 games, which will be against Al Hilal, not that one, and Pyramids. So we'll at least see how we fare against Pyramids on camera. We do have an away trip as well to them, in the not too distant future. So hopefully by the time you come back, we'll have 4 wins out of 4, or maybe even a draw there would be a good result. Hopefully we don't get beaten, and then I start worrying we can't beat the Egyptian teams. We'll see how we fare, of course. But yeah, I mean, if we beat Djaliba, that should pretty much be us qualified anyway, with 9 points. Provided we come into it with 9 points, it should be us pretty much qualified. Obviously, one of these 2 will probably win their game, so that would give us a 6-point gap with 2 games to go. So we win one of the next 2, we probably are qualified or close enough. Anyway, we don't need to think about that. We just need to think about beating Pyramids. Obviously, a ton of league games, cup games and stuff. Play those off camera. We're of no interest of us at the minute. We've already won them twice. We won the Super Cup twice, so we're really just focused on the Champions League. So like I say, those 2 games next episode, both at home as well, which is nice. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Hexagon Challenge, and I'll see you all for more very soon.